From dog tags to ownership, heroes take the lead. Stories of veterans building dreams with passion, drive, and speed. From service to success, we're here to inspire the quest. Dog tags to ownership, we're the best. Take the prize.
From the battlefield to the boardroom, this is Dog Tags to Ownership, the podcast where veterans share their journeys from serving our nation to leading in business. Hear inspiring stories of grit, growth, and the entrepreneurial spirit that drives those who've served to succeed. Tune in and take the first step toward your own mission in entrepreneurship.
Military One Percenters, welcome to Dog Tags to Ownership, where once a week we interview veterans who charted a path towards entrepreneurship. Here, our goals are to share resources, advice, and success stories about starting a business, discuss strategies for building financial independence and creating your own path, and most importantly, build a community to support each other through the challenges of transitioning from service life to civilian ownership. All right, everyone. So if you've been rolling with us through the month of March, you know that March was a packed month full of episodes. Seriously, though, we dropped 4 episodes on every single Tuesday this month that hit different. We had guests that range from all the different businesses to even including a special episode tailored toward BRAAV Patriot Bootcamp and what that organization is doing to support the military, veteran, military connected community. So today, we're going to do a little bit something different. We're going to do a full March recap and go through episodes 9, 10, 11, and 12 and break down those key takeaways for those. But we also have 2, not 1, but 2 pieces of bonus content for you. One with Anna Redmond, who has created an amazing virtual challenge coin program. And she's going to tell everybody about that and how great that business is and how it can really help us get rid of our bags of coins, as I said to her in the interview. And then the second person we're going to have on is Mara Lago. She will be on as well for bonus content. And she is talking about the upcoming Military CreatorCon, in which I, your one and only host, founder, I guess co-host, I have Matt. He's not always in all the episodes, but he's there. We'll be speaking at Military CreatorCon, and it is a great organization, great conference, bringing military entrepreneurs, veterans, military connected, and then just military creators into Arlington, Texas for basically 2.5 days to discuss entrepreneurship, business ownership, and transitioning, the gamut of things. Before we get to our bonus content that I know everybody really wants to hear about, let's talk about our action-packed month of March. Jason Ambrosino, he kicked off March with episode 9, and we sat down with him and heard a lot about his 2 businesses, how he got into entrepreneurship, the struggles that he had coming out of the military. I will let you recap his episode.
Yeah, it's been March Madness here at the Dog Tags to Ownership podcast. So Jason, and let me back up. One of the overarching themes as I was thinking back on the 3 specific guests we had on, in addition to the DAV Patriot Bootcamp, was overcoming hardship. So I know we've had a number of guests who've come on and faced adversity, but these last 3 guests really amplify the point of one can face incredible hardship in life, overcome that, and thrive in leading successful companies. With Jason, it was, his military service and a service-related injury that prevented him from continuing on with his military career. So he ended up having to retire early, being medically retired, I believe, from the service. And he was a little bit lost when he came out. So he was trying to find himself. He, worked for his parents' company for a bit, and through some self-discovery and some turning to some non-traditional medicines, he was able to have this life-changing moment and really find himself. And once he did that, it seemed to change his trajectory in life. He started to have drive again, and he started to find his why again. And he really resorted back to things that made him successful during his Army career, which was working with government contracts. So that's really what he was able to do. So he was able to kind of refocus himself, use the knowledge and experiences he had during his time of service, and then figure out what he was going to do on the civilian side. That really, it did lead to give the government contracts, starting a company, which he still owns today, but then branching off into marijuana or cannabis production. He's mainly on the production side of that. And for him being what he would consider, I think, one of the smaller guys, he found ways to really be successful. And I, again, attribute that to a lot of his hard work, determination, knowledge with the cannabis industry, and finding ways to compete with the larger companies that are out there. If anyone listening is considering some type of work in dispensary or the production side, the growth side, he would be someone you'd want to reach out to. I can't do it justice with the breadth and depth of knowledge that he has, but incredibly sharp guy.
Neither of us could do justice to what he knows about that industry and even the contracting industry and what he's done with his contracting company that he has for New York, where he gets contracts because he is a service disabled veteran and gets contracts for that. So if you're looking to get into the cannabis world, he is the person to talk to. And I would definitely implore you to go listen to that episode because he drops some real gems in that one on starting a business, whether it's cannabis or the contracting business, but he drops just some great gems throughout that episode. I like what you said there, Matt, and our overlying theme of March was basically coming from struggle to overcome those things and become a successful business owner. So that brings us episode 10, Nick Lawless, from humble beginnings, lawless by name, relentless by nature. That's who he is. The Lawless Leadership is his book. You couldn't have a better last name. I think you said that in the podcast for someone with his last name being Lawless and what he is doing, building his security firm network, really. So he has 2 security firms. He went into it with an idea, with a thesis, mission statement. It hasn't come out the way that he expected to begin with, but he continues to drive on. Another person who from humble beginnings, had to get out of the military because of a medical issue. He wasn't able to serve anymore, so he had to get out of the military because of a medical issue. Got into government work, did work to security, White House planning security, and then decided he wanted his own business and took that and has 2 security firms, one out in California and one in Pennsylvania. But he talks through the setbacks that he's gone through with acquiring security firms, because that's really what he does, and the setbacks that he's had with that. But then, trying to pivot and build those into the firms that he wants them to be as he continues that journey. And then he is a published author, so Lawless Leadership is his book. And just another great guest who comes on with a breadth and depth of knowledge from working in the government and then going into the private security firm space and how he is taking, an already established security firm and turning it into what he wants it to be, and then how he's going to expand that moving forward.
Yeah, Nick was, again, a pleasure to have on and spoke in fairly good detail about his challenges during childhood and then again, challenges during his professional exploration into the security industry and essentially being in I think a 2-year lawsuit at this point with the company that he purchased out in California. So talk about being resilient and continuing to march forward while facing, a lot of operational turbulence and adversity. Nick embodies that. Interested in owning a private security company, maybe you could reach out to him. He was more than open about connecting with other veterans and helping out wherever he can. He's like the Jack Reacher. He looks the part with the tattoos and all that. And being in California, I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up some type of movie role while he's out there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those episodes where you'll want to pull over and take notes. And I say that because that brings us into our special episode, which was episode 11, about the DAV Patriot Bootcamp. And one cool thing that ties episode 10 and 11 together is next week is the DAV Patriot Bootcamp Caffeine Connect, where Nick Lawless is the guest speaker for that. It's a small world, and that's what our community is all about, is the networking aspect of it. And so Nick will be the speaker for the DAV Patriot Bootcamp Caffeine Connect next Thursday, 2 April. If you want to register, you can go on to their website and register for that and get the Zoom link to join their Caffeine Connect. I think it's at 2 p.m. Eastern. But that ties right into our special episode, episode 11. And that was not quite live, but post a DAV Patriot Bootcamp. And that episode really was an episode to show how this community can come together and the different resources that we have as military members, veterans, military connected to help us with turning our dog tags into ownership. So for those of you that don't know or haven't listened to the episode, please do. And then please go on to the DAV website or the DAV Patriot Bootcamp website. But we were able to interview folks that went to, was the one in February that was in Myrtle Beach, and really got to talk to them about what DAV Patriot Bootcamp offers. We had some incredible guests that were able to come on to that special episode and talk about why they applied to DAV Patriot Bootcamp, what they learned while they were at DAV Patriot Bootcamp, and what some of the key takeaways were while they were there. And I'll just say, I think out of everyone that was on that episode that attended the DAV Patriot Bootcamp in February, their biggest takeaway was the Thursday session. And they call it's like a speed dating session where you get to sit down with 10 to 15 different mentors for 20 minutes each and tell them about your business and get in-person feedback on whether or not, yes, this is a viable business, or, hey, you should change these things about it, or, hey, I'll help you because I believe so much in the business that you're looking to build. And that was one of the guests, JB Gourmet Spices and Rubs. He's actually out of Springfield, Missouri, Matt, so in your home state now. But he was there, and the Robert Irvine Foundation is a proud sponsor of DAV Patriot Bootcamp, and Robert Irvine was there, and he got on the phone and got in touch with some of his contacts for JB, and JB is now going to most likely be in AFES series and those types of things, selling his business. And he is just a small regional distributor that he makes his products, and now he's going to be a national brand because of DAV Patriot Bootcamp. So, just a great opportunity for folks out there. All you have to do is apply. So going from DAV Patriot Bootcamp and everything that offers, go back and listen to that episode. Like I said, great content in there. And then that brings us to our last episode of March, episode 12, with Jim Reading of Tier 1 Coaching. He is from the UK Royal Marines. And man, that is a energetic show, if I could say the
Yeah.
least. He is passionate. He has a ton of energy, great perspective. He found a purpose, he found a why, and what he wanted to do and build a business. And I'll turn it over to you to talk about Jim.
Yeah, we crossed the pond with that episode, having Jim on from the UK. And as Julie said, lots of energy, but also laser focused in what he's doing to improve, I would say, military readiness for those recruits and those currently serving through essentially a physical training program that him and his team puts together. They also, in addition to the physical side, they also talk about mental strength, and they have a coach that works with folks on that side of it too. So met some resistance while he was serving, and his pursuit in this entrepreneurial journey from the Royal Marines, we'll say. They weren't super jazzed about what he was putting together, but the data, the information, the success stories have proven he's making a splash in getting folks more prepared and having more success in going through the recruitment program and the training program to become a Royal Marine or to become, a service member in other capacities in the UK. I know one of the questions we had for him is like, can you train somebody over in the United States or Australia? And he has done some of that, and he can do it remotely. If you're looking to join the United States military, or someone who is, maybe you reach out and just say, what are you guys doing? What's the recipe for success? Because I know the US could take note of that with some of the challenges they've had with recruits not being, physically conditioned to make it either into joining basic training, or joining and going into basic training, or getting through basic training in AIT.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to what you said, after episode 9, or the underlying theme again is from struggle every episode talks about struggle, to include the special episode. And that's no different from Jim, right? Being across the pond, still the same struggles that we as American military members face. And so, you know, I just want to say at the end of the day, it's all about your community and your network and overcoming those struggles and how you push forward. And everybody has the struggles, whether it's you just now starting your business, you're getting out of the military, you don't know what to do, you're kind of in a lull. Everybody has gone through some type of struggle that has pushed them to where they are today. So if you're out there and you're like, dang, I don't know what to do, listen to those 4 episodes, because every single person that we had on in the month of March talked about a struggle that brought them to their purpose, their why, and what they're doing today. So I think with that, March is a wrap. It's been a great month, 4 great episodes, 4 incredible conversations, and a whole lot of knowledge for the veteran entrepreneurship community. And with that, April is coming in hot. It's coming in real hot. And we've got some great guests lined up for. Please continue to listen. As I said at the beginning of this episode, we have 2 great bonus contents that are coming at you to really get you ready for April with the Military CreatorCon, and then also Anna Redmond with BRAAV and her digital coin program.
And I just want to dovetail on that and say thanks to Anna Redmond for participating in our last 2 Dog Tags Connect events. Again, those are live events the last Thursday of each month. It's on a Google Meet. It's not recorded. You can come in there, ask questions. We've had a lot of return entrepreneurs to give a lot of good advice and answer questions. Last night was another fantastic episode. And again, thanks to Anna for participating in the last 2 and offering so much within her network to folks that come on there. So Julie, you talked about the community, so many good people on there that have had success, that have been through hardship and just want to continue sharing and giving back. And, Anna's like, hey, I may know a lawyer that can assist someone. I may know, someone in this industry or the medical transport industry. It's like she knows somebody somewhere. So shout out again to her and thanks for her contributions and everyone's. Jerry as well, Mike, 2 Marines that have been participating in all of them. So again, thanks for that. And we need more folks that want to get into entrepreneurship to come on there, ask their questions. That's all I got.
Couldn't have said it better, Matt. Good work. Today, we're extremely excited to have Anna Redmond on the show for bonus content. She is the founder of BRAAV, an organization with the mission to transform the private security industry with technology. BRAAV launched its first tech-centric chief security officer solution, which is perfect for any business that wants to up their level in safety and security practices through elite security talent. She has 15 years of experience in mergers and acquisitions, private equity, and angel investing with a focus on seed stage startups and human-centric innovation. So first off, Anna, thank you so much for joining us today to discuss your journey and the companies that you have helped start up, and then what you are doing today with BRAAV as a security-centric company, and then also what your next passion project is and company that you are doing that I really think is going to be valuable for the military community in terms of challenge coins. So just to get started, could you tell us a little bit about BRAAV and that company that you started?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me, Julie. I'm delighted to be here, really excited to be talking to this audience. BRAAV is on a mission to make private security more understandable and accessible to our audience, which is primarily heads of HR. We work with a lot of high net worth individuals. We think of ourselves really as the easy button for physical security. So when companies have situations crop up where they're like, oh my gosh, we don't know what to do, what is the best practice, we're able to plug in the right people to help talk them through it. And mostly we hire from within the military community for that. We work with a lot of folks that are veterans, certainly some active duty, a lot of current and former police officers. And it's really a pleasure getting to work with this community and to deploy them into situations where their expertise is desperately, desperately needed.
Acquisition, private equity, and then also angel investing. So can you just talk briefly about, that aspect of what you've done for some of those listeners and followers out there that are looking for potentially an investor or a merger or acquisition?
I'm very passionate about investing. It's something that I've done really since the start of my career. Right out of college, I worked at a venture capital fund and then actually several hedge funds. So I got to see both the private side of it as well as how it looks in the public equity markets. I think this is actually a great time to be an entrepreneur as a veteran or a former first responder. There is real concerted interest in public safety from investment professionals. It is happening at a scale and in a way that it was not before. We're seeing defense companies scaling quickly. The other day, I actually had cold outreach from a venture capital fund that specifically was looking at a roll-up of security guard companies. And that's not quite our business, but they were like, we'd love it if you could make introductions for us, given that you're in the space. I think fundamentally the same things that make any strong business apply here, but some spaces do better than others. And so security guarding, security assessments, safety, it's something that can benefit from AI, but can't be completely replaced by AI. So now is a really great time to be innovating.
Yeah. And I think as we see a lot of people getting out of the military and first responder community too, we have such a knowledge and a background of security, utilizing the platforms and things that are out there, but also leveraging our technical and tactical capabilities that we've learned being in the military, and then, utilizing our leadership to help run some of those things. So the big thing we really want to talk to you about is your next adventure and what you're doing, because it is so impactful. I've spoken about this a few times now, but what you're trying to do with challenge coins, because as many of us out there, military members, veterans, military connected, we all have bags, and I say bags, of challenge coins that we've received over the years from different units, different missions, and things that we've done. Could you just talk about what you're doing now and how you're trying to help us get rid of some of those bags of challenge coins and move that forward?
Yeah, I'd like to think of it as preserve. It's so interesting to me. 6 years ago, I had no idea challenge coins existed. I literally had no clue what they were. I then went on this journey to start BRAAV, which I really did, Julie, as you said, from zero security background, really just from a conviction that there was a customer need. And so in the process of founding BRAAV, I went from knowing zero police officers, knowing zero people that had served, to now being honored and blessed and fortunate to have so many veterans and current service members and first responders among my closest friends and advisors. And when going from zero to one there, I suppose, they started giving me challenge coins. And the first time I was like, this is so cool, but what the heck is it? And I was told the whole story of the pilot that was shot down, and then the drinking tradition, and then all of the narrative and storytelling and honor and dignity and valor that goes along with it. And I now know that 30 million Americans at least hold some sort of challenge coin. And then there are 270 million who have no clue that it even exists. And it fascinated me that there's so much information that's still oral, right? That's not preserved anywhere except in someone's brain. And I started talking to veterans, some who were older, even going back as far as World War II, who were saying things like, gosh, when I'm no longer around, I wonder what this coin was, where it came from, what it meant, why it was given to me. It's sort of like when a thought won't leave your mind, I was like, this should be preserved on the blockchain. And so fast forward really a year from when we started, we now are the first ever digital challenge coin network. We are able to do two things. One is for new coins, you can issue it through us, and then you get a digital twin on the blockchain that has perfect provenance. We describe it like digital cement. So the story is baked in, the recipient, the person that minted it, you cannot change any of that. So if you're the holder of a digital challenge coin and it says that you got it on May 12th for saving someone's life, that's not faked. That's unfakeable. You cannot go in and hack it or change it. And at the same time, if you have that bag of coins, whether it's in your cabinet or under your bed, we have a beautiful display that lets you display it on our system, but the coins actually turn in space and you can click on them and you can input the date and the story. But we've made the decision that if you are not the issuer of the coin, you cannot create the digital twin, because we don't know if that bag of coins from under your bed is yours, or you beat someone up on the street and stole it and ran off with it. We are giving you the chance to display it in a really elegant and seamless way, so that we're getting away from the days of blurry photos on Facebook.
I find it so fascinating that, one, you guys are the first ones to come up with this, because there's so many of us, and I know you and I spoke about this before, but there's so many of us that have so many coins that have served for so long, and in particular in the GWAT era of time, where you go on training exercises, you go on deployments, you do different things, and you get a coin for your exceptional work. And then it also became a time, I know in the Army, I'll speak for the Army, and maybe for some of the other branches too, but where all levels of command, so like company command, battalion command, brigade command, like coins of excellence. And so much so where I think sometimes like platoon leaders were even developing coins to give out to their soldiers for coins of excellence. So a lot of us have now, like I said, kind of trying to be a little bit funny about it, but like bags of coins that we take around, and there's only so much space to store these coins, but they still mean a lot. And for me, as I'm retiring and I have all these bags of coins, it's now becomes like a space issue in my house. Like, where do they all go? Where can I put them? But I want my kids to see them when they get older, to say like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's really cool. Like, my mom has a Chief of Staff of the Army coin, or a Chairman of the Joint Chiefs coin, like these awesome coins that mean so much, but I don't know where I'm going to keep them. So like I've told you before, I find it really awesome that you guys have developed this website, and I know you want to share it. So if you want to share your screen so people
I
can
would
see
love to.
what the website is, how they can go on there, they can add their coins, and have that, place where all of those coins are stored, and then they live and they're preserved, as you said, for years to come for others to see.
I love that thought that you're having of sharing them with your kids, because I'll tell you, it was a big impetus for us. We thought about, all these people that had earned these amazing coins and wanted a chance to pass on the story, and maybe did pass it on. And then you have that kid saying years from now, oh man, Grandpa told me the name of the guy that gave this to him. What was it? Was it Jim or John? Was it, in 47, or was it in 42? So this is kind of our answer to that. You could see, so you can have two categories of coins, right? As a collector, you have digital coins, where, this is our BRAAV welcome coin, where you have an original coin story, you have all the blockchain details, you have a transfer history, and then you have the physical coins. And the difference, if I click on one of these, it doesn't have the blockchain details here, because this was a coin that was photographed. This was just a physical coin, but I still get to put in when it was acquired, when it was uploaded. This one was actually uploaded by my colleague Dave. This is for his private security company. And you can kind of scroll through the coins and watch them flip. And this one of my advisors gave me when I met him down in Coronado, so I can add that to the story that I've uploaded on the coin. And then if we go and we look at someone's profile, so this is one of my advisors. He's a retired chief of police, so he has, I think this is a tiny fraction of the coins that he's uploaded, but he can keep all the stories here of the coins that he received and how. And then this is actually a physical, this is a public page that he could share. So he could share this link to his LinkedIn, he could share it to his Facebook. And if you're looking for someone that holds specific coins, you could go in and say, does someone have a canine handler coin? Oh, there are two of these. Maybe I want to reach out to this person, or if you know a name of a coin, that you're looking for, you could use this to sort it. And when we have a full digital coin, so this is one of my other advisors, and this is a digital coin that is a twin of a physical coin. He minted this with us. The other cool thing is you actually can include a video with the digital coins. And this is on the blockchain. I'll pause it right there, but this sort of shows you, it's 2 minutes, it shows you kind of the history of his deployment. So if you're hopping on this is where you'd go to stick your physical coins into your page. And if you are an issuer, then you can go ahead and create collections of coins that you would go ahead and send out to people. I'll pause there, but we're very excited to get some of your listeners on this platform and check it out and let us know what you think.
For folks, as you're out there listening to this and thinking about where am I going to put my coins, this is another great way to network and to see the different coins that are out there and to search those things and who has those and what may be common things that you share with someone based off of a coin that you have that you received while you were assigned or attached to a unit during a military operation. So again, I just feel like, what you're doing is so impactful.
I love it. Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head. I think what our hope for this is that people can use it to reconnect to find people that maybe they had deep and meaningful and maybe life-changing experiences with years ago and lost touch with. And just this morning, I chatted with a woman who runs a podcast, and she was telling me that she was a nurse heading up triage on a very large, meaningful, dramatic rescue mission of U.S. service members. I think this was in the late 90s, and it's one of her most treasured coins. And she loved nothing more than to connect with other holders of that same coin because it really means something to her. It's like that moment in her life, and she described it down to the position of her feet on the plane, watching people brought in, the stress, the anxiety, but also the feeling that was what she had trained for. And this recollection of like all these people yearning to go to help, to be of service. And I think to me, like that's the beauty that I want to capture. It's obvious that bad news sells. And I think we are at peak bad news sells right now. Like that's all that people read. And these stories are so poignant and so beautiful and so uplifting. And we want to be the mouthpiece for that.
Yeah. And like you said, it just connects people. And at the end of the day, I think for military members, veterans, military connected, a lot of times we're looking for that connection. I will link that to the show notes so you can click on that and go and see the website and then get on there and start uploading your coins, because that's what it's all about, is preserving those challenge coins and the stories that go with those challenge coins for future. I just want to thank you for coming on and telling us a little bit about BRAAV, a little bit about yourself and the impact that you are having on our military first responder community and what you're growing. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for your service, and thank you for this amazing podcast.
So for this March recap, we are extremely excited to introduce our guest to the show, Mara Laga. Mara is a military spouse, business consultant, entrepreneur, and the co-founder and COO of Military CreatorCon, bringing together filmmakers, podcasters, artists, content creators, and entrepreneurs in and around the military space to build businesses, foster community, and amplify their creative voices. Mariah, welcome to the podcast, and thank you so much today for joining us to really discuss Military CreatorCon and the impact that Military CreatorCon has on our veteran, military connected, and military community. And we're so thankful to be a part of Military CreatorCon. And so before I turn it over to you to tell us what it is, Military CreatorCon, for those of you out there who don't know, it is 16 to 18 April in Arlington, Texas. And can you please just tell us what Military CreatorCon is, how it came about, and what people can expect if they come to Arlington, Texas, and what they'll get from the conference.
Sure, it's a mouthful, but yeah, I can do that. So what Military CreatorCon is, as you sort of explained, is really the entire creative space. If you took all those creative people in the world and you put them in a big circle, and then you took all the military connected people and you put them in a big circle and you mushed them together, you would get that sliver of people would be our heart and soul. And that is really important to us, that we serve that particular kind of community, because creatives, especially coming out of the military space, there's a lot of creative people in the military, problem solvers, they become entrepreneurs, they're photographers, there are media people, there's all kinds of people coming out of the space. And one thing that they do easily is transition into contracting. But one thing they do it's a little bit harder, is to to transition into more creative endeavors. So that would be innovation, product development, entrepreneurship, photography. We have people who make belts. We have people who do woodworking. We have jewelry designers like me. So filmmakers, that's a good one too. So we have a lot of different kinds of people in our community that we try to support, and it's all about the community. The event is a kind of a capstone of what we do in the community every day, which is introduce people, collaborate with people, connect with one another. And that conference, like you said, is the 16th to the 18th of April, is going to start with like a welcome social on Thursday night. So everybody's going to kind of come in at their leisure, register, do whatever, and then they're going to head over to the bar, which is where a lot of our people like to be, and kind of chill and hang out and get to know people they've never met before, see old friends, connect with people that they've served with that they actually never met before, but they might have been on the same ship or they might have been on the same flight line, what have you. And then we start our sessions the following day. We have a networking coffee at like 8 in the morning. We go into sessions all day. We have a catered lunch. And then that Friday night, there's a VIP happy hour for a couple of hours. And then we go into a Casino Royale night where everybody gets to sit down and gamble and play and challenge one another. And we'll end that night with a raffle. And we have such cool things at the raffle. I just told you we have a barbecue grill. Weber's doing a barbecue grill, and Blazing Star Barbecue's doing all the spices. Melinda's hot sauce is doing that. We've got Jealous Devils doing the charcoal. I mean, it's just kind of the coolest package, this ultimate package. But our grand prize at this moment, until somebody comes in and like supersedes it, is 4 tickets to the Boston Celtics floor seats at the Garden. So kind of excited about that. That's going to get raffled. I think that's going to get a lot of attention. Just saying. And then the next day starts exactly the same. Coffee, sessions, buffet lunch, and we end with everybody coming back together in a little keynote. And off we go to the closing night party, which is a sponsored speakeasy. So we're going to have live entertainment. We're going to have a comedy show. And then we're going to close that night with a traditional whiskey and cigar nightcap. So that's kind of what the agenda looks like in a nutshell. And we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be really special.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys have so much packed into 2 days, just with how you just went through the structured agenda and what's going to be going on. But can you also hit on who your keynote speaker is?
That's a great question, because I'm still pinching myself that we got this keynote speaker. And it's really because of the collaborations and connections that we make, which is what I think people need to take away from Military CreatorCon, is it's all about your network. Christopher Lockhead is an amazing man. He is powerful, intelligent, he's kind of a Silicon Valley guru. I think he might not be thrilled that I kind of equate him to like the new, bigger and better Steve Jobs. Like, he's just amazing, visionary. And he developed category design. He's the pioneer of category design as a concept. He has 15 best-selling books, one of them being Play Bigger, another one being Category Pirates. He has a podcast, but normally what he does is he consults with companies. So he's a fractional CMO or a contracted CMO. And I don't want to like give away too much, but I think he took one company from $1 billion to $5 billion. I think his fee is like craziness. We'd never be able to afford him. So he knows that I feel that way. I'm like, how did we get so lucky? He's a huge military advocate. He really loves the military. He's a big patriot. So I think we just got super lucky. So one of our tickets includes a complete workshop with him on Thursday day, which I didn't mention earlier, because it's a very special thing that MCC is sort of sponsoring. Like, we're presenting it, and it starts early morning on Thursday. And then as they go through this, it's very limited seating. meeting. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a little bit of a pricier ticket, but the value is astronomical. And after you've spent all this quality time with this man who charges millions for his time, then we go into the welcome social, and he'll be there. Actually, I think I forgot to mention too, the mayor of Arlington is a Marine veteran, Jim Ross, and he will also be at the welcome social. So we have a lot of cool people that are going to be there, in addition to Julie Austin, who will be a speaker.
Yes, I will. On Saturday morning at 9:30. I'm super pumped about that, and talking to the community about military transition, and building, teaching, and leading are my 3 big points for that. But on top of that, you're an amazing keynote speaker. You also have some great fireside chats, and one of those is AAFES. AAFES is coming to provide a sit-down talk on getting into AAFES, getting into how entrepreneurs can help get their businesses into AAFES. So I want to highlight that for those of you that are out there and have been struggling to get your product into AAFES and trying to figure out how to do that. It's another great speaking engagement that will be happening. I think that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that one's Friday morning.
It is. That's Friday morning. That's right after Christopher Lochhead. I think it's at 11 o'clock is when their panel is. In fact, I just got off the phone with them. I mentioned that's why I was a little late to our meeting. It's because I was talking to the panel. It's going to be very educational, because I think what they look for, what they do, how they operate, their vision and their mission is something that not everybody knows. And I think it's really important that if people want to do business with AAFES, that they understand how they operate, what their ethos is, and also how they can operate better and cleaner and clearer with them.
That's another one pumped about, because I know so many people that are part of our dog tags ownership community who've been trying to get into AAFES and have had a lot of red tape and bureaucracy to try to get into it. So learning that for them that I can bring back to help our community as they try to grow and turn their dog tags into ownership and expand their businesses. Yeah, and if you're out there and you're not able to make Military CreatorCon, first, you should. Second, if you can't, send us those questions because we can help facilitate that and get you the answers back that you're looking for. And then finally, you have some big sponsors that are coming that are part of this great event. So can you just talk about the sponsorships that you have for Military CreatorCon?
Well, one of our big sponsors, our presenting sponsor, is High Level. High Level is one of those companies that sort of has encompassed now the necessity of marketing and communication and retargeting and funnels and CRMs. So that's really a great sponsor. They are also giving an exclusive trial to Military CreatorCon community people. So that's important for your people to know, for all of our people to know, that they're really going the extra mile to incorporate the veteran and military connected community and try to elevate what they're doing now to something that's even more powerful. So I love that. We are blessed. We're going to have the VFW there. We're going to have the VA Office of Suicide Prevention there. We have some other really big sponsors like Tenor, which is a veteran-owned relationship company that does it's like a CRM, but not like I want to call it the CRM or the something, but because it's really an AI-based program. I might have mentioned this to you, where the way you think, the way the neural net of your brain thinks and kind of relates people to one another, and it takes that into consideration. So it's not like you're just putting information into boxes. You're able to search it through AI to say, prep me for this meeting. I'm going to be meeting with Julie. Tell me about Julie. What does she feel like is her greatest accomplishment? And a lot of the information that you've already put in there, or that it's enriched automatically through AI, helps you to be able to understand who you're dealing with and really enrich those relationships. We have interview valet. We have like 37. Like, I know I've forgotten somebody's going to be like, you didn't mention us. But they're all amazing people. They're all supporters. This is our first year on our own, which is really important because we were a microcon of a big conference called PodFest. That was where our heart started. We kind of leave it there. That creative podcast start is where we evolved out of. So we were the first day, which is kind of like what we're doing for Christopher Lochhead. The first day, we sort of did a summit, a one-day event for several years with PodFest, always knowing we would go out and have a multi-day event. And this is it. This is our inaugural event. So I'm really excited. Hope you'll all come.
Yeah. And like you said, it's just a great event bringing our community together. And at the end of the day, that is what it's all about. It's supporting each other, helping each other build our networks to help veterans, military members, military connected do more for America. And as we approach America 250, and I say this all the time, you couldn't have America 250 without the military. And without us networking and being together and being a community, that's what it's all about. So I applaud you and James for putting together Military CreatorCon and what you're doing. And like I said at the beginning, April 16th through 18th, Arlington, Texas. You can go to militarycreatorcon.com to secure your ticket. And if you're looking for a special code, reach out to me. I can send it to you and we can get you a ticket. But we hope to see everyone there and come ready to learn, come ready to network, and come ready to meet new people, meet old friends, and just have a great time. So thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit about Military CreatorCon.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Military one percenters, whether you're brainstorming your first business idea, already running a company, or just curious about where to start, Dog Tags to Ownership is the place for you. Please hit that subscribe button to receive all new episodes. Also, if you know someone who has turned their dog tags into ownership, drop us a DM on social media or tag someone. We're always looking for new guests to bring onto the podcast. And as always, Military one percenters, thank you for your service. Let's continue this journey and working together to write our next chapter. Until next week, keep pushing to turn those dog tags into ownership.
From dog tags to ownership, heroes take the lead. Stories of veterans building dreams with passion, drive, and speed. From service to success, we're here to inspire the quest. Dog tags to ownership, where the